We're going to look at example 1, C and D in your section 4.7 notes. We're trying to use L'Hopital's rule to complete these problems. So the first thing you want to check is what form you have. So if you plug in 2 pi into the denominator, you're easy to see that you have 0. Okay. If you plug 2 pi into the numerator, you will also arrive at 0. Okay. So the minute you notice that form, what L'Hopital's rule says is that you can take the derivative of the top and the derivative of the bottom before you take the overall limit. Okay, so just like in chapter 2, we're going to keep the limit notation. Okay, so if I take the derivative of the bottom, that's pretty easy. I just get the number 1 there. And then if I take the derivative of the top, I've got to be careful right here. I've got to do the product rule. So the derivative of x is 1. Leave sine x alone, and then I'm going to leave x alone, and the derivative of sine is cosine. Okay, all right, next part, take the derivative right here, we get 2x, and then this is a constant, so its derivative is 0. Okay, so now we check to see if we can take the limit now, and we definitely can because we won't get the denominator of 0 if we try to plug 2 pi in, so we're ready to evaluate. Remember, when we evaluate, this is when the limit drops off, so we're looking at the sine of 2 pi plus 2 pi times the cosine of 2 pi plus 2 times 2 pi. Okay, so the sine of 2 pi, that is 0. The cosine of 2 pi is 1, so you're going to have 2 pi times 1 there, and then the end is 4 pi. So when you go through and you add terms, you're going to get an overall limit of 6 pi, which completes part C. Okay. All right, let's move over to part D here. So once again, we want to look at the form. If we plug in 0, we'll get 0. A little bit easier here to see that 0 is also the top. Either 0 is 1, then minus 0 minus 1, you'll get 0 there. Okay, so we're ready to take the derivative. Keep your limit notation. So the derivative of the bottom is 10x. The derivative of the top is e to the x minus 1. Okay, plugging in 0, again, we're going to get 0 in the denominator. Then we'll have 1 minus 1, so we have another L'Hopital rule there. So the limit as x goes to 0, taking the derivative of the downstairs, we end up with 10. The upstairs, we end up with e to the x. This is a place where we can now evaluate. So we get e to the 0 over 10. And just like we said earlier, anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay, and that completes example 1, part D.